So as you can see from the title, I got second place at locals. I think it was out of 10 people, but I went 3-1. I did lose in the final round, but I ended up getting second place. That's the highest I ever placed anywhere, and all thanks to Mewtwo, my favorite legendary. So let's go round by round and see how I did on each round. So first round, let's go. So first round I went up against a Raging Bolt. So since I played Raging Bolt a couple times, I knew what strategy they were going to use. I asked the guy how long he's been playing. He says he's been playing for a month. He only has one deck. So I was going up against, someone fairly new to the game. I'm pretty sure they played on live, but playing in person is a little bit different. So I was able to get my Spide Ups down, or my Tarantulas down, and then Mewtwo down. So my thing was to go ahead and take out the Raging Bolt as fast as possible because I knew that what he was going to do. So I ended up taking one Raging Bolt out, then he took out a Mewtwo. Then I took out another Raging Bolt, he took out my last Mewtwo, and then I took out a Phantom Rotom with my Spide Ups. So it was down to 2-1, so he was trying to just dig and dig and dig. He needed 2 more prize cards, and I think I had 1 more Mewtwo on the bench because I run 3 Mewtwo EXs. So he was digging, he couldn't find nothing, so he passed. I think he put something up, I think he put a Hoot in the active. So I had a Spide Ups with a full energy on the bench, and I still had 1 inactive. So what I did was I got Giovanni go ahead and bossed up his knockdown, but had my Spide Ups there, knock it out, get the finals prize card. So first round I won. On the whole afternoon I was 1-0. So we're going on to round 2. So round 2, I went up against somebody named Hunter. They were playing Dragon Ball EX. So Hunter knew that I was playing Mewtwo because I let him know that, hey, I'm playing Mewtwo EX. And they thought that I was going to have a Clefairy. So I let them know I don't run a Clefairy. I don't run nothing but Team Rocket's Pokemon in my deck. So I had to strategize what I was going to knock out first and quick and fast. So I was able to get out Tarantulas and Mewtwo and Articuno. So if you don't know, Articuno helps you protect against Dragon Bolt's Phantom Dive. So that's the one thing. I do run a 2-2 Articuno. I thought about replacing one of them, but early in the game he countered it and knocked it out. But I was able to top deck it. So I was able to have an Articuno in the bench. So I had my Tarantulas, I had Spide Ups once I evolved them. I had my Mewtwo Exes. It was just trying to turbo rocket energy into them and just try to disrupt their hand. That's what my deck was trying to go for in this situation. Disrupt their hand and also have draw power in mind. Like I said, I don't run a Fezidipity, I don't run anything else but Team Rocket's Pokemon, just because I have those supporters backing me up. So it was going down. We were going down 2 prizes, right? So I had just knocked out 2 of his Dragon Bolts and he got his 3rd one out. So he had just knocked out my Mewtwo and I just put 160 on his Dragon Bolt. So he retreated and put a Hulucha in the active. So what I had to do, I had to dig and dig and dig to get an energy because I had 1, attach it to the one that was on my bench. I was able to prime catcher his Dragon Bolt into the active, then have my Spide Ups into the active to take the knockout. So far this deck, it's a good deck. You have Spide Ups who's an attacker, Mewtwo who's an attacker. They can go both ways depending on what the situation is. So, when I was able to get the knockout, it was, I was thinking I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good with Mewtwo. So for the night, I was 2-0 against everybody at local. So let's go on to round 3. Round 3 was a mirror match. Another person had brought Mewtwo EX, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, to the competition, but he was running the one with Fezandipity and Lily's Clefairy. And let me tell you, these last 2 rounds, I'm gonna tell you straight up, these last 2 rounds I was bricking and bricking and bricking and bricking. I only had a Mewtwo and a Tarantula. While he was up at his board after the first 3 rounds, I kept bricking and bricking and bricking until he was able to knock out, I think he knocked out 1 Tarantulas. So it was down to 6-5. I was able to top deck a Archer and I was able to use it to draw more cards. But after that Archer, I was able to come back and bench what I needed, bench a Articuno, bench a Mewtwo, get the Team Rocket's Proton, get a Team Rocket's Factory, draw 2 more cards, and still keep going from there. He did knock out another Spidops, but I was able to come back and knock out a Mewtwo EX that he had on the bench. So we went back and forth. We were down to 2-2 prizes at the end. I was able to knock out another Mewtwo, and he was able to go ahead and have a Spidops and get active. So we were down 2-2. I just needed 1 more prize card, or 2 more prize cards actually. I just needed to knock out a Fez because he had placed down a Fez the very first turn. Very first turn he had a Fez, so that was no brainer that I was gonna knock that out one way or another sooner or later. So what happened was he was, of course, Fez is always gonna be on the bench no matter what. So I was able to have my Mewtwo powered up, had a Giovanni, had my Mimikyu actually. I had my Mimikyu in front. Once I had my Mimikyu in front, I was able to Giovanni, get his Fez and Dippy out in front, and then put my Mewtwo. I was able to charge up with the Spidops to go ahead and do enough attack of 220 to go ahead and knock out his Fez. And that's how I got round 3. So far than that, I'm 3-0, and this is like the best I've done any tournament that I've done so far. And I really gotta thank Mewtwo. I already know a lot of decks that have been running Mewtwo, but I think this one's kind of better just because how the draw power is if you just play all your Team Rocket's Mewtwo. I know a lot of people are gonna doubt that playing a Fez or anything else is critical for the deck, but I'll talk about it after I talk about the last round. So at the night I was 3-0, so let's go on to the final round. Final round, I was going up against one of the players that's been to regionals. They've been internationals. They're going to nationals. His name is Destin. He's a really good player, really good Guardy player. And so I knew this was going to be a tough battle, but since me and him were 3-0 over the night, I really had to, pull all the stops. But unfortunately, like I said in the last round, I was bricking. I was not able to set up anything at all. I had a Mewtwo and I had a Tarantulas all out, but I had no energies. I had nothing but supporters. I couldn't draw the cards that I needed. And he took advantage of that like crazy. I was able to knock out like maybe 2 and 3 Pokemon, but he was able to knock out all my Pokemon within the next few turns. There's nothing I can really do. He was able to get the Guardy, use Screamtail, use Drifloon, use Monkey Dory, use Gardevoir at the end to attack my Mewtwo EX. I was able to use Spidops to go ahead and knock out some of his Pokemon. It was kind of going back and forth in the middle of the round, but towards the end, he was able to get all these prize cards just because I was able to, I was bricking. I was able to set anything up, and I was just fighting from behind. But after all that's being said, I don't take away from that loss. I mean, I'm not mad about losing. I knew Destin is a very good player, and what I can learn from that match is, be prepared for whatever situation I can come out from, and just go on to the next round. But unfortunately, that was the end of the night. They did take a picture of us, but since it is nationals, the whole store went to nationals, and so they haven't posted our picture yet. But I ended up getting second place. I mean, you gotta believe me, I got second place. I wouldn't brag about it if I didn't place that high. I got second place. So let's go on to, no, let's not go on yet. I forgot. At the end of the night, we were 3-1. Second place, that's not bad for a Mewtwo EX Team Rocket's Pokemon. So what do I think of the deck? The deck is not bad. It is not a bad deck. I know a lot of people give it a lot of gripe because there's no Fez, there's no Lily Scafferi, there's nothing but Team Rocket's Pokemon. It's nothing but Team Rocket supporters and items, but I like it. I may replace one Team Rocket Great Ball with a Nest Ball just in case, but I like the deck. It's a very good versatile deck. You have the Spidops who, mostly attacks everything in sight. Stage 1 does 180 max, and you can charge up from the bench, so you're able to use the Earthen Vessel to get energy, and the Ultra Ball to put energy in the discard pile, charge it up, and still attach for turn. Spidops is, I would think Spidops is not the supporter of the deck, but that sometimes he could be the main attacker, and Mewtwo is the backup attacker. We have a lot of supporter cards like Giovanni, Proton, Archer, and Ariana. Those are the cards that, are really detrimental to this deck, especially Archer. It's kind of like a little mini unfair stamp. And you got Team Rocket's Factory, when you let you draw 2 more cards for the cards you need. I do run energy switches. I do run a whole bunch of other cards to go ahead and maintain this deck. But overall, this deck is good. I give it a whole, let me see, we're going off the Pokeballs. Let's see, I give it a 4 out of 5 Master Balls. Just because it's, like I said, it's a very good deck. I need more practice with it. I need more in-person training with it. But I like it. I think this is going to be my main deck from now on. The one deck I'm going to use against everything else. I built like 10 decks. I literally have 10 decks that I have in my backpacks. I have a rogue backpack and I have a meta backpack. And right now, the Mewtwo is in my rogue backpack. You know, I'm going to do a little bit more stuff with those backpacks. But that was my story. I guess that's what you want to call it. That's what I did at locals. You know, second place, Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Awesome. So excited the rest of the day. Nothing could have brought me down because I actually did pretty good. And I went up against a good player and had him sweating bullets for maybe like a couple rounds, a couple turns, but overall did good. Next time I am going to play it again in another locals tournament, so I'm going to let you know how I did on that one. But that Mewtwo is good. Very legendary. GOAT. Greatest of all time. Till next time.